She sent them back, and on day 2, there was a verdict.
When the verdict was read, Anne just starts like wailing, just wailing. And she kept on just saying, "Thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God."
I had a lot of people who were praying for Anne, and when I heard the verdict, it was like, yes, the prayers were answered.
Ann Allen was found not guilty, and she was set free.
I think she got away with murder. Everybody got up and it was over. On to the next case.
Scott's friends at the FBI were devastated.
I wish there was more justice for him. He worked as an investigator solving crimes, and his crime will never, I don't think, ever be solved.
Laurel police say the case isn't closed, but they're not actively investigating unless new leads come in. Anne cannot be tried again, and after the verdict, she moved to another state. As for Riley and Kelly, they told us they're moving forward and trying to live each day the way their dad would have.
You know, Riley and I determine how we do things by how would Dad do it. So, you know, just doing it the Scott Horn way.
That's all for now. I'm Lester Holt. Thanks for joining us.
NBC4 News at 11 starts with breaking news.
And we do begin with breaking news. A nighttime bus crash in San Bernardino County with dozens of kids on board. And we are told there are injuries, including 3 people who have been taken to the hospital.
Now, the crash happened along Highway 330 near Running Springs on the way up to Big Bear. Right now, both sides of the highway are closed.
And we have video just into our newsroom. You can see the bus on its side. We know it was carrying about 80 kids or children. The CHP says it was the only vehicle involved in the accident. Tonight, we are hearing from a man who was driving right behind that bus.
The vehicle flipped. All I just saw was it slide forward, and I just ran because I thought my little sister was in there, but thankfully she was behind them. Because all females from church were in the bus. I was all females in the bus.
The cause of that crash is still under investigation. It's a story we will be following right here.
We want to move now to our other top story. A potential end to the government shutdown is now in sight. A special Sunday session of the Senate has adjourned for the night, but just hours ago, lawmakers officially agreed to vote on a temporary funding bill. Tonight marks day 40 of the shutdown, and these are the most significant developments that we have seen yet on negotiations. So here is what we know about that tentative bill. It was negotiated by a group of Democrats and Republicans, passing by the narrowest of margins at 60-40, with 60 being the minimum number of votes needed. 8 Democrats joined all Republicans except Senator Rand Paul in voting yes. Notably, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and both California Senators Schiff and Padilla were among those who voted no. Here are the specifics. This is a deal that would fund the government through the end of January. In a major concession from Democrats, it would not include an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies, but it does guarantee a vote on that issue by mid-December. In a win for Democrats, it does include a guarantee for SNAP funding through September of next year. The deal would also reinstate thousands of fired government employees and ensure back pay for more than 1 million others. There is still some uncertainty and confusion for millions of Americans, however, who do rely on SNAP.
NBC4's Camilla Rambaldi joins us live in our newsroom now with what tonight's developments mean for food access. Camilla.
Kathy and Robert, as you just mentioned, SNAP, or what's known as CalFresh here in California, would be fully funded through September of next year under that tentative deal. But without a final vote tonight, many are still living in that uncertainty, not knowing when they will be able to put food back on their table. Tonight, the fate of SNAP benefits now in the hands of senators on Capitol Hill. But here at home, the same images we have been seeing for weeks. Another food distribution event and another line of people outside this church on South Evergreen Avenue in Boyle Heights. For some, it's not their first time here.
A month. We've definitely seen an increase of people who come and pick up food for their neighbors. It seems to be like there's a lot of fear right now.
Food banks and pantries across Southern California have been stepping in to support families until SNAP funding is restored. Tonight, Democratic senators who helped negotiate the bipartisan tentative deal that could ultimately end the government shutdown say the need is far greater.
Soup kitchens can't fill the gap. Food pantries can't fill the gap.
Waiting another week or another month wouldn't deliver a better outcome. It would only mean more harm for families in New Hampshire and all across the country.
In the background of the Senate negotiations, a legal battle over SNAP funding. Yesterday, the U.S. Department of Agriculture ordering states to immediately undo full payments that were sent out. It is still unclear how states could take that money back.
This is a bit of a mess in the sense of some states apparently have full funding, some states have partial funding, and there are serious legal questions about what the federal government can ask for the states to return.
And tonight, those questions still front and center. Loyola Law School professor Jessica Levinson weighing in on what comes next and how soon EBT cards could be reloaded once the shutdown is over.
Even though we've seen reporting that it could take weeks to get the program up and running, after there was a federal judge's order this weekend telling the administration to fully fund the program, there was money that went out almost immediately. So for those relying on the program, hopefully things would move quickly.
And here's what's ahead for this tentative deal. A final vote is still needed in the Senate. It will then go to the House, which has been in recess since September. President Trump would then ultimately need to sign it, and that all could take some time. And it is still unclear exactly how much. That's the latest from the newsroom. I'll send it back to you.
Camilla, thank you. And right now, take a look at this. The tentative deal being reviewed right now received positively by investors with a bump in pre-market trading. Right now, all three major indexes are in positive territory ahead of the Monday opening, with the NASDAQ rising almost 1.25%.
And we are also tracking day 3 of flight cuts at our nation's largest airports because of the shutdown.
Even if a deal is reached soon, it will take time for operations to return to normal.
Thousands of flights canceled today across the country, including many at LAX. And our Macy Jenkins talked with passengers about their flight status.
First comes relief to hear the 40-day shutdown could finally be coming to an end. Then comes the question, how fast can airports bounce back? Well, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says it won't be right away, meaning cancellations and delays could still go on for the time being. Here at LAX, Zarita Abbott is checked in and destined for Maui.
I was really happy to see my flight wasn't canceled.
But amidst thousands of last-minute changes to flight schedules across the country, she's worried this vacation isn't yet a sure thing.
I've been before at the gate and seen it come on canceled, so I don't count it until I'm actually on the plane. More than 2,000 flights canceled Sunday and more than 8,000 delays on the third consecutive day of the FAA-mandated cuts at 40 major U.S. airports, including LAX. But signs of hope coming out of Washington Sunday as a procedural vote passes in the Senate, taking us one step closer to ending the nation's longest government shutdown. On Friday, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy addressed next steps in the event of a resolution.
If the government opens on day 1, will I see an immediate response from controllers? No, the union is telling me it's going to take time to get them all back in.
Here's travel expert Gabe Saglier.
What do you make of all of this?
All right, so very annoying, very frustrating, and very concerning. If that's true, then the projections are that we could be seeing a really tight squeeze here as we head toward the holiday season.
The chaos alone, he predicts, is enough to sway many to skip this year's trip.
Perhaps Thanksgiving would be a great time to host dinner at home instead of having to go somewhere else.
But for those determined to hit the skies, here's some advice. Try to book the first flight of the day. Ditch the checked luggage and travel with a carry-on. Upgrade for refundable fares. Choose nonstop flights, and if you can, book a backup flight.
So I think a lot of airlines are playing ball here. They're loosening their restrictions, and that's good news for the traveling public.
For Eric Nelson, the flight from New Jersey to LA was only the beginning.
I have 2 weeks off of work, and it's one of those situations where you're like, let's do something awesome, and then you're like, oh my God, we booked 6 flights in 14 days.
Here's hoping the next 5 take off as scheduled.
We were feeling a little crazy, but it's been going smooth, I have to admit, and we have no delays, so we're really happy.
This morning, before hearing the news of a possible deal in the Senate, Secretary Duffy warned that in the 2 weeks leading up to Thanksgiving, we're going to see air travel reduced to a trickle. Now, it's unclear how or if a deal would impact that timeline, but just to be clear, Thanksgiving is less than 3 weeks away. Reporting at LAX tonight, Macy Jenkins, NBC4 News.
Let's give you some more context on these flight delays and these flight cancellations. According to data from FlightAware, there was an average of 340 cancellations in the United States each day last year. But after the flight reductions began on Friday, that number jumped to 1,000. And then, as you see on Saturday, 1,600. Today, more than 2,500. We will, of course, be keeping an eye on flights before the holidays and every development